The International Space Station crew members come from 3 countries and a variety of professional backgrounds, but they share a desire to contribute to human space exploration beyond low Earth orbit. Dr. Koichi Wakata was born and raised in Saitama, a bedroom community of Tokyo. He remembers watching the first moon landing on television and wishing he could fly in space. But since there were no Japanese astronauts then, he put the dream aside as impractical. But he had other interests, including baseball and airplanes.
I was very fascinated by airplanes ever since I was a small boy, and I always wanted to become an engineer or pilot to make and fly an airplane.
Wakata pursued that dream at Kyushu University, where he earned a bachelor's degree in aeronautical engineering and a master's in applied mechanics, and then started his career as a structural engineer for Japan Airlines. 2 years later, when Japan's space agency advertised for astronaut candidates, Wakata applied and was selected in 1992 to begin astronaut training at NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston. In 1996, he was Japan's first-ever space shuttle mission specialist on a flight where he ran the shuttle's robot arm to deploy and retrieve satellites. In 2000, he used his robotics expertise again on the shuttle flight that installed the Z-1 truss and a pressurized mating adapter on the International Space Station. After he finished his doctorate in aeronautical engineering from Kyushu University in 2004, he completed training in Russia as a Soyuz spacecraft flight engineer, and then in 2009 became Japan's first space station crew member as a part of expeditions 18, 19, and 20, and expanded his robotics repertoire to include Canadarm2, Dexter, and the robotic arm on Japan's Kibo laboratory module. He's eager to keep doing what he can to prepare the way for future exploration and improve life on Earth.
I think we can gain new knowledge, new technologies that we benefit in our daily life on the ground by going to space. And also, I strongly believe human space program is a vehicle for the survival of human species.
Mikhail Tyurin was born in Kolomna, Russia, an historical town outside Moscow. But he lived in many places around the country, growing up in a military family. His interest in spaceflight did not focus on becoming a cosmonaut himself.
I did not have a period of my life when I was dreaming and doing all I could, overcoming difficulties to become a cosmonaut. I just loved this area.
And he focused on getting as close to it as he could. Tyurin earned a degree in engineering from the Moscow Aviation Institute and went right to work for the Rocket Space Corporation Energia as an engineer, first specializing in ballistics and software development, and later in methods of training cosmonauts, methods he usually tried out on himself first. After 9 years on the job, he was selected to join the Cosmonaut Corps. Tyurin made 3 spacewalks during his first trip to the International Space Station in 2001 as a flight engineer on Expedition 3, and 2 more EVAs as flight engineer on Expedition 14 in 2006 and 2007. He's pleased to be contributing to physiological research that will prepare humans for future space exploration, and even more interested in how some of the psychological results will be applied on Earth.
They can be used not just in space exploration, but can be propagated and applied to human relations in general, and are much more in demand in various areas of our human activity, human life.
Rick Mastracchio is a native of Waterbury, Connecticut, and grew up there in the 1960s, interested in the space program, but not with the idea that he'd ever fly in space himself.
When I was a small kid, I didn't know you could even be an astronaut. It never occurred to me I could be an astronaut someday. But I was always interested in math and science. I was always interested when the teacher spoke about aviation-related topics or space science-related topics, when I was in grade school.
He took those interests to the University of Connecticut, the first person in his family ever to go to college, and earned a Bachelor of Science degree in electrical engineering and computer science, which got him a job at Hamilton Standard developing guidance and flight control systems while he finished a Master's of Science in Electrical Engineering at Rensselaer Polytechnic. At that time, he saw an ad from NASA looking for new astronauts and decided to apply. What he got was a job offer from Rockwell to work in shuttle operations, and he moved to Houston in 1987. 3 years later, he joined NASA as an engineer specializing in software development, then became a flight controller in ascent and entry guidance and procedures, and was selected as an astronaut in 1996 after 9 years of applying. His first space shuttle flight was the 2000 mission that outfitted the International Space Station's new Zvezda module for its first permanent crew. He made 3 spacewalks during his second trip to the station in 2007 on a mission that delivered a truss segment and a new gyroscope, and 3 more EVAs on a 2010 resupply mission. He sees this station as a means to support inevitable exploration well beyond the neighborhood of this blue planet.
We are meant to explore. We, being the people here on this planet Earth, we want to go out and see what's out there. We want to know more about things, and we can't just do that through robotic systems. We have to send people to see things up close and personal.
Dr. Steve Swanson was born in Syracuse, New York, and moved with his family a number of times before ending up in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, as he entered his teens.
It's a beautiful place. I love the mountains. I love the area. And when I grew up there, it was definitely like a half agricultural ranching community and half resort. And it was a great combination.
He stayed at home for college, got his Bachelor's of Science in Engineering Physics at the University of Colorado, but then went to Florida Atlantic University to get his Master's of Applied Science in Computer Systems. At that point, he considered his options, and the job of astronaut seemed to have what he was looking for. After a year working as an engineer in Phoenix, he got a job as an engineer at the Johnson Space Center's Aircraft Operations Division, working on the shuttle training aircraft while earning his doctorate in computer science from Texas A&M. He was chosen for the astronaut program in 1998 and made his first flight in 2007 on a mission to deliver a truss segment to the International Space Station. Swanson made 2 spacewalks on that mission and 2 more on a 2009 shuttle flight that delivered another truss segment to outfit the station to perform its mission.
We're going off now. We're trying to get science better. We're also trying to find maybe a place that we could go to maybe get resources off the moon. We could go explore Mars. All these kind of ideas are things I think as human nature we just have to do.
Alexander Skvortsov was born in Shelkovo, near Moscow, because his father's job as a cosmonaut brought the family to Star City, a town with no maternity ward. But soon after his birth, Skvortsov's father left the cosmonaut corps, and the military took the family to Morshansk.
And I still love the town. A very big, quiet river, a wonderful nature, wonderful forest, very good people. I like that town. And I have, there are a lot of people who graduated from high school with me. My classmates still live there.
After high school, Skvortsov set out to fulfill his dream of being a cosmonaut, like his father. After he completed study at the Stavropol Air Force Pilot and Navigator School, he spent 7 years in the National Air Defense Force before studying at the military Red Banner Air Defense Academy. Skvortsov graduated the academy in 1997, the same year he was selected for the Cosmonaut Corps. He spent 6 months on the International Space Station in 2010, including serving as station commander for Expedition 24. After he returned to Earth, he finished his studies at the Russian Academy of Civil Service to become a lawyer, and he retired from the Air Force as a colonel in 2013.
It is an enormous joy to look down to Earth, and we really want to see Earth always looking as beautiful as we see it from space, a blue planet with wonderful nature.
Oleg Artemiev was born in Riga, the capital of Latvia, where his military officer father was stationed. But the family soon moved to Kazakhstan, to the town now known as Baikonur, when Artemiev was a small boy. Although he lived in the place where people were launched into space, he wanted to be a sailor. Cosmonauts?
We always thought of cosmonauts as the people that we always have to go meet and greet. They would pull us out of the activities that we actually enjoyed. They would line us up along the road and make us wave little flags to greet them.
After high school, Artemiev went off to train as a sailor. But when that didn't work out, he went to the Tallinn Polytechnic Institute and graduated into a job as an electrician, but soon left that to join the Soviet Army. After 2 years in the service, he went to Moscow and was admitted to the Bauman Technical University, where he earned a degree in low-temperature physics and technology. That got him a job at the Rocket Space Corporation Energia, where he worked building and testing space vehicles, including preparing the International Space Station's Zvezda module for launch. He was selected to start training as a cosmonaut in 2003. In 2009, he participated in the Mars 500 experiment, along with future cosmonaut Sergei Ryazanskiy, on his way to preparing for his first spaceflight assignment.
I hope that my small contribution will help those who will eventually make a first step on the surface of Mars or touch an asteroid, bring something good back, maybe even see some extraterrestrial life. There are a lot of good jobs on Earth, but this is the ultimate